We are.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the weekly podcast. Right now it is exactly 3.
Boom, 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 boom. Right on time.
We're on time today. That is very odd. It's almost like I don't know what to do. We're on time.
It's like when the Robotics floor worked, right?
Yeah, I was like, well, we got there and it came back. Nothing broke. All right, see you guys later.
Might as well start.
I guess time to go actually eat dinner. Yeah, so we got some good news for you guys today. A lot of big things happening across robotics and maker and game and arcade and of course surrogate news. And I guess we can jump right into it. So this is the Friday weekly Ninja Robot Podcast. All right, this week's top news in the tech sector. The SpaceX competitor, Rocket Lab, made its first Electron booster splashdown. Actually, technically it's not a splashdown. You'll see why. The company aiming to be SpaceX for smaller satellites is working up to a historic helicopter recovery. Rocket Lab is following the footsteps of SpaceX by going to some pretty dramatic lengths in recycling its rockets. The startup, with facilities in the US and New Zealand, attempted to recover the first stage booster from one of its Electron rockets for the first time Thursday. The rocket blasted off from New Zealand and boosted a number of small satellites, including a gnome. So Valve, the game company, launched a gnome into space.
What is that? What's the gnome?
Like a garden gnome. Like a
into space.
Into space.
Wow.
So that's another news I was reading. And they went towards orbit for the mission called Return to Sender. That's the name of this one that's coming down. The first stage then separated to make a controlled soft water landing in the Pacific Ocean using parachutes. But it didn't, though, because they pick it up with these
helicopters.
The helicopters. Right? Yeah. So it's going to show it in just a second. Or did they already catch it? I just didn't see it. But yeah, they catch it. It's coming down in a parachute, and they catch it in midair. So you don't need
with helicopters.
With helicopters.
I can imagine them using drones later. You know, it's just a standard procedure. Just have drones going to a certain place.
Oh, right here they release it down to the ocean, and then I guess they pick it up from the ocean.
They catch it in midair with two helicopters, and then they drop it down again.
That's cheating.
Wait a minute.
That sounds very unusual.
No, wait. Go back to the screen. Let's see. I think they're going to do something else. Do they pick it up again? That would be weird. You drop it with a helicopter, and then you pick it up with more helicopters. You're like, because we can.
Yes.
We're so good at this.
And then you're like, well, that's how we send it to space.
All right, so I found it in here. Snatching the booster out of the air prevents the possibility of damage from a water landing and floating around in salt water for a period. Bringing the whole first stage back intact is the ultimate goal, but success for the mission is really about gaining more data. Blah, 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 blah,
so they haven't launched it to space. Did they?
No, they did. They brought a garden gnome up to space.
So they launched it, then catched it, and then catched it again.
Well, I think this might be two different catches.
All right. It sounds pretty confusing.
But anyways, it looks awesome. You catch it right out of midair. You don't need the which looks really cool. But maybe practically this is even better. You need less fuel.
Let's see. I'm a bit worried because if it goes like, full speed, although maybe the parachute can actually stop it pretty well.
Parachutes are
But I don't know when it's going like down to earth.
Technology there.
Can you actually stop it with a parachute well enough? Because I would assume parachute would just break with under such speed of going down.
Wow, I mean they're doing it. Look right here. Helicopter picked it up, brought it over. Boom, 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 boom.
And it works.
So I mean, in this way, I can imagine you're going to use less. You need to load up less fuel, which means the rocket can be smaller, and you can probably have, I don't know, a lot of benefits. But let's see which one's the future. Usually, people go with the coolest looking thing is going to be the future, but maybe this is the simple thing. I mean, this is what we were talking about in the beginning. Is that why don't they just pick up with parachutes? So these guys are doing it. So let's move on to our first topic of news this week, and that is Maker News. All right, in Maker News, every week what we do is we try to find makers, these people who make things, that makes sense, And every week they're coming up with cool stuff and making things with their hands, and we want to promote that and show it off to the world. So this week I found a pretty cool maker. Got this on Hackaday. This guy, Samson March. And he's making a turn-by-turn smart glasses that gives you directions. So you don't need to have your phone in your face like everybody does. It'll alert you with an LED on top of the glasses, and as you walk, you just know, you understand that you have to turn at the next turn. Simple enough.
Yeah, that's pretty useful.
Easy little project. It's probably going to be on shelves in AliExpress in like 2 seconds, because it's quite simple to do. But it's cool that they actually made it.
It's like blinkers.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, so it's blinkers for your sunglasses.
Yeah, it's inside the glasses, so when you're walking, you'll see a little light shine, and you're like, oh, I guess I turn right.
I'd
And
say
then the next one, it turns.
probably the best application is maybe if you're on a motorcycle and it's just hey, move the lane, go to there. Could be useful.
Yeah, when I was doing a startup in the past, we did.
Another one.
We were doing something similar to this with watches. We were doing a smartwatch that could form to your hand and change shapes, but also would use haptics and shape programmable materials and to feel like you're being pulled to a direction. So it's not like a visual thing. You would have
Like somebody grabs your arm and like,
but
hey,
yeah,
go
so
there.
I pitched this to Huawei back in China like 6 years ago, and we were all engineers and we were all drawing on these boards and we're trying to figure out how we would do it. And it would be like, on one side it would pinch you, and not pinch like in a hurting way, but it would sort of feel like you're being pulled to left or to right.
Reminds me of that movie Ghost in the Shell. I don't know. It's like a shell you put on your arm and it's like a ghost trying to drag you to a certain area.
Yeah, I wanted to feel like you're getting pulled, like, hey, go this way. Then you don't have to even think. You just like, your hand motioned and you want to go that way. So that was a cool thing by these guys. Turn-by-turn smart glasses. It's probably going to be the thing, especially when AR comes up. I bet it's just going to be visual. Not just LEDs, but it's going to pop on your display itself. Another maker that I saw this week, Katie Ayers, and I got this also on Hackaday. She made a kayak out of mushrooms.
Didn't we? wait. Didn't somebody tell us that there was like a pumpkin kayak as well? Remember when we were carving the pumpkin?
Yeah, someone said that there was a big enough pumpkin that they made a boat, like a kayak or canoe.
Yeah.
I think that's like an annual event. Like, I can't remember what part of the world.
They just grow the biggest pumpkin and then go
like-
across the water.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's actually
Well,
an event.
Life
this
goals,
is
man. Hashtag life goals.
very biodegradable.
I need to learn how to make
I
pumpkins.
feel like some people have way too much time on their hands.
If that's your thing, though, you want to be.
mean-
I know they have competitions like who can make the biggest potato or something.
But
and
Yeah,
so-
they do.
Is there some specific mushroom she used that is like waterproof and is perfect for construction or something?
So I'll tell you a little bit about
Who
her.
knows?
She's
man.
She's a Nebraska college student who built an 8-foot canoe molded entirely from mycelium. I guess it's a type of mushroom. I'm not entirely. I don't think it's the one that you lick and you get high.
That was my first question.
It's the floating boat kind.
Okay.
It doesn't float you into the sky.
So mycelium is the vegetative part of fungus.
Well, that's a
Nice.
mushroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
Mushrooms are fungus. But yeah, it's she was researching solutions to climate change, and she loves fish and always wanted a boat. So she found out that this mycelium are naturally buoyant and waterproof, so she decided to just use it as a building material for a boat.
But I wonder, how do you stick them together? You
So I got some more pictures here. Here it looks a little bit more crude than that cool photo I showed earlier, but it I don't know. It looks like it's molding already. But it's
Because I googled mycelium, there was a guy who made a coffin out of mycelium, and it's in the middle of the forest.
well, that makes sense though.
Yeah, because you put it in the ground, and
Yeah.
fungus or mushrooms grow from the
But
ground.
you know, if you dropped your loved ones into one of these going down, you're gonna cry even harder because you're like, that's already molding, and it looks terrible.
I feel like Vikings didn't choose mushrooms for that reason, as the burial when
They
they
just
push
throw
out
it
the
onto the
boat.
water?
Yeah.
That's cooler. That's way cooler. You fly up into the air.
so many questions.
I can't be the only one thinking like you have a lunch with you as your boat.
Well, I mean,
mean,
worst case, just
Imagine
munch
you
on
go
it.
on an exploration mission
Yeah.
and you run out of food and you're in the middle of nowhere and you just start slowly eating your boat.
And then you're like, wow, do I drown or do I get starved? Which one do I go for first? Apparently, the total cost of this was about $500, and she floated the idea to an owner of a local mushroom company, and they got to work building the frame suspended in the air by a hammock-like structure, and they covered the boat's skeleton with spores and let it proliferate in a hot, humid growing room. So they built it like this, and then they kind of just growed from the spores
But
into that shape.
But then, does it last forever, or is it like plastic or whatever, or does it you do use it once and then that's it?
I can't imagine that that's going to last very long.
And how much of that $500 was actually gone into like the mushrooms alone and not other construction?
Well, mushrooms
material?
grow pretty easily.
It's probably the other construction
Yeah.
materials.
Yeah.
But makes me wonder, because I mean, if it is like an actual material you can use later instead of plastic, it's pretty cool. You just grow in a certain form. It's like 3D printing, but using mushrooms.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you just make
mushrooms.
Natural 3D
you just
printing.
make a certain shape.
A
You
mold.
Put, mold.
Yeah.
You put some mushrooms in there,
And
and,
then
boom,
boom.
you got a boat.
Boom, I got an Xbox.
I mean, that would be pretty
of
cool
nowhere.
if you think about it.
Yeah, so it says if you want to grow your own mycelium boat, you can build one out of stretch wrap, packing tape, and tree branches. And then I guess you let the spores grow on top of that.
Interesting.
So if you want to know more, you can go to Hackaday. It's called Mushroom Canoe is Rooted in Nature. Now let's move on to the next maker. I feel like I've been bringing up Fabian every single week. Fabian came out and put another robot onto SurrogateTV. So TGC Fabian, one of our most active makers, put on his robot that you can drive around his house and watch him play Beat Saber and stuff, right?
I think this was the one I brought up last week. Which
Yeah,
I
but-
broke it last week already.
but
I didn't play it
yeah,
until
we
this
haven't
week.
played it until this week. So
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
There you go.
yeah. So it's now public, so it's on the site.
yeah.
Okay.
There is
Yeah.
no schedule as such, as far as I know. He puts it online once in a while, but it's pretty cool to drive in somebody else's place.
Yeah, it's not ours. Like we do Robot Explorer, but now we're in other people's rooms. That's pretty cool.
So how do you, if someone wants to come play, how do they know it's online? Do they have to come just check randomly? Or?
They should join the Discord community, because Fabian wrote last time it was online on the Discord community. So
you go.
Yeah.
don't miss that.
So, by the way, if you're interested in becoming a creator and creating some stuff, cool stuff like this, or hooking up game consoles, or whatever it is you want to do, you can go to the top of the game page on that button right there and click Become a Creator. Fill out a few questions, and we will reach out to you and tell you how to do that.
And I think what I've noticed here lately is that a lot of people have ideas, but you're not necessarily sure, or you maybe don't want to press the Become the Creator button. You can always join our Discord and then come talk with people, about your idea. And in the best case scenario, people will help you out with your idea, and so you can become the creator. So don't be afraid. Come talk to us, or then just go directly become a creator.
Yeah.
Our whole thing is to make it as easy as possible for you to create real life things, real life robotics, consoles, all that stuff. It's supposed to be a step-by-step guide on
Yeah.
how to do it all for
And
yourself.
we're trying to make it as easy as possible, and we'll have new features coming out that will make it even easier very soon. So stay
Yes,
tuned for
indeed. All right, let's move on to our next topic, and that is robotics news.
By the way, quick interjection here from the chat, YouTube chat. They said that TG Fabian's game, you get to roll around a bottle in his room.
Ah, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, people are rolling around a bottle in his room. I mean, it's fun, weird things you can do.
that. Messing with real life physics as a little bot is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's weird. So the first robotics news this week: researchers explore materials for transforming robots made of robots.
What?
The Army and MIT's way of linking metamaterials makes building super mileage vehicles like this one from collaborators Toyota Automotive Society possible. Super mileage vehicles aim to get the most mileage out of a single tank of high-octane gasoline. The scientists from U.S. Army and MIT's, maybe we should full screen this. Scientists from the U.S. Army and MIT Center of Bits and Atoms created a new way to link materials with unique mechanical properties, opening up the possibility for future military robots made of robots. In essence, basically the idea is they want to make all these little structures that are separate robots themselves, and they kind of link up like
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 Lego
Power
kinda.
Rangers or something.
Power Rangers. Okay.
Yeah,
I have no idea what I'm looking at.
it's like Legos.
What is that?
So each of those is a little. I have a little
There we go.
picture here, so they can build into different forms. So it's that square, but then the square can build into that, whatever that shape is called. And then it builds
I
into
just
another one.
imagine it's
and it
like
builds into another
walking robot turns into a ball, starts going around as a ball because it's more
Yeah.
efficient.
Isn't this how they start taking us over?
Then
one.
transforms
I
into
think
a
this
plane.
it makes perfect sense. It goes along with what we were talking about last week with those balls that Mehdi really liked to talk about. The balls can build up to different shapes, and that was kind of what we were doing in a previous startup, was making some different shapes and stuff. But it's gonna go into this. I don't know if this is the best one to do it, the best way to do it. But there will be a way that tiny little robots can build into one single robot and do multiple different things.
It's not the hexagon, bestagon.
I still think we're
Mexico
so
best.
far away from this tech. Like, of course, there's these prototypes, but like, how expensive it is to make something like this compared to just normal structure.
Yeah, so this is all research basically.
Yeah.
So, and this, I guarantee you, does not work. It's just
A proto.
it's just like it's just
Yeah.
a little demo. That
I
shows
think
what
the
could be
only
possible.
time we'll be able to have something like this is when robots build robots actually. Like, they actually manufacture it themselves. Because then we can
Yeah,
maybe
that was
have
the
something
idea with
like
3D
this.
printing, is you can 3D print a 3D printer. But even that, no one has fully 3D printed a 3D printer. There's
Yeah.
always assembly afterwards. It'd be nice to 3D print all the motors and all of the rails
Everything.
and all that, and then duplicate. And I think that'll probably be the first, most realistic way of doing it. But there are already people 3D printing motors and all these different components that you would need, so we're probably 10 years out. 5 to 10 years, I would say, unless someone gets really in depth on this. On a similar topic, this from the City University of Hong Kong. Novel magnetic spray transforms objects into milli-robots for biomedical applications. With the M-Spray, different tiny objects can be turned into milli-robots. Researchers in a joint mission project led by scientists from this university have developed an easy way to make these robots by coating it with a glue-like magnetic spray. And in essence, what they're doing is you coat it with this spray. This probably has like iron particles in it, and then you can do a magnetic field and make them move in different ways.
I am so confused.
I have
Apparently,
no idea what's going on.
Apparently, I have a video. I haven't actually seen the video.
This sounds...
M-Skin.
I'm too stupid for this stuff.
All right, here we go.
It's way
So
above
they
our
have like
pay
a
grade.
spray on the... what? Then they coughed on the glue?
So you cough
They
on the
look
glue.
like
well,
a
that-
squid inked.
That was obviously not optimized. It said sprinkler. They're using a sprinkler? Wait, did I hit the button again? Wait, let's go
Let's
back.
do it again.
Let's see what that was. Wait, I think it said sprinkler. It says sprinkler in the... Yeah. All right, I don't know who these students are or what grade they're in, but...
Clearly
anyways,
students.
So they're just moving
I've made...
a magnet, basically. They put magnet, like metal, and that's it.
All right, here. So, okay, so they got some patterns. So this was like the pattern you saw in the video. So I guess they're going to do like a silk screen. So they'll probably like push it across and
Yeah,
then do
I'm
like
I'm
a
waiting for
t-shirt,
the
like a silk
sprinkler.
screen. Oh,
There we
okay,
go.
they did a sprinkler again. Why are they spraying on everything?
It's
So,
dirty.
So you wasted like a bunch of material. Okay, they're going wait, they do it on every single one of them like that.
Why can't they just do it all
They
together?
could have done it. Wait a minute. What? Why did they do
What?
it that way?
What's going on?
So now they're just moving magnets, basically. Okay.
Yeah, because you have a magnetic field under, and you can make it do different things. So that's the
All right.
idea. But what the hell? What the hell were they doing on that thing? Why would they do it single? It said on there like they were doing like the direction of the magnets, but you can do that in one, and then when they're still liquid, you can polarize the magnetic.
I have
So
no,
many.
I have
I
no
don't
idea
know
what you're
what-
even talking about. I
They
have,
really wanted to use the sprinkler, okay?
Yeah,
Just-
I don't know. They just want to. I feel like this is somebody. I'm about to judge, but it feels like this is somebody put their thesis together really quick, and then they got some news coverage. Because this is like,
It's magnets.
I like the warning though. I'm gonna
Wait
judge.
a minute. There's gotta. Is there something else here? What's in the spray?
I mean, people
Okay.
who do pinball machines, they know the magnet stuff way better
Okay,
than
so
this. I must
Chad
say.
said that they did it single because the way all the because that way all the joints could move individual and actually produce movement.
No, you can do that in one silk screen. You can
Okay.
definitely do that. There's no reason they had to do that. It said something about polarization on there of the magnets.
Oh,
But
so
you can
one
do
is
that
like
afterwards.
plus and the other one is yeah, okay.
Yeah, so what they're using in the spray is polyvinyl alcohol, gluten, and iron particles. It's just a basic
Magnetic substance.
it's like a basic ink, a magnet ink. The alcohol would evaporate, and then you're left with the iron particles, which are all there. And before it's evaporated, what you want to do is you put the magnet, then you can select which is a negative or positive on which side.
I have
But
a
that's
question.
that's what they were trying to explain. They're like, oh, if you do this one first, then this one, and you polarize this one to this one, but you could do that one spray and then magnetize them and then let it dry.
I have a question.
So-
Do you have a PhD in chemistry? Because
No, this
based
is-
on your explanation, it sounds like you're pretty sophisticated.
This
No,
was
I'm
also a
explaining this
startup.
really
It was a
simply.
startup 10 years ago that he did that. He pitched in.
Oh, another one.
No, I've made this ink.
Okay, that's
a long time ago, like 12 years ago. All right. Anyways, let's move on to our next topic, and that is
This is so 2008.
gaming news.
That was like a plot twist. That news from 12 years ago. Shay just didn't tell us.
Yeah, I didn't know I went to the.
Then we
University
checked the
of
news
Hong
article.
Kong.
It's like Shane Allen.
Yeah,
City University of Hong Kong.
Thesis by Shane Allen.
Hey, by the way, we completely passed like the reason why they were making those. It was because they want to spray it onto drugs and then do a magnetic field and then bring it down into certain parts of the body.
Ah.
Oh.
I don't know about putting that iron inside of you.
Yeah,
but I guess
I
you
wouldn't-
have iron in food, but that seems like a lot of iron.
That's not same iron.
Yeah. I don't think there's enough iron in your food to like get it pulled down by magnets.
Yeah, because then we'd have a lot of issues
Yes.
during the day. You're like, whoa, what did I eat today? Why? Why am I? What? My spoon is on my stomach. All
And
right.
then just like a bullet just goes out, you know?
All right, so one of the biggest news in games this week, Roblox has filed to go public. The unicorn gaming company joins Airbnb, DoorDash, and Affirm in targeting an IPO before the end of the year. Roblox, a child-friendly gaming company, filed to go public today, which was November 20th. That's today, right? Yeah, today.
Today.
Listing comes after 1 day from the lending firm Affirm doing a public offering and 2 days after Airbnb's filing. Airbnb, how are they doing with this corona right now?
I literally just pulled that up. They were supposed to be the hottest public offering of 2020. Instead, the home sharing giant just cut 25% of its workforce and expects revenue to be less than half of what it was last year.
Yeah, but 2 days ago they also filed to go public.
Yeah, this was a day ago. This news came
Maybe
out.
they just need
That's
some cash
unfortunate.
urgently.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Roblox confidentially filed to go public back in October, but it was unreleased until today when their numbers came out. And they're doing really good. Roblox with the coronas, their revenue is shooting up.
They're like the opposite of Airbnb.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, how is Airbnb? All right. So yeah, huge news from Roblox. Everybody's playing Roblox.
How much
Roblox
is
is
their
pretty
offering,
cool.
like in it, like the initial offering for the stock, or did they mention?
You know, I would tell you, it didn't get printed. This was like a 5-page article, and I have a big black square, and then a guy with his hands up.
It's year 2020.
Year-
Printers are still.
So this was on TechCrunch. This article, Roblox files to go public is the name of that. I thought I printed off. I have a big
You know,
block and a guy with his
I-
hands
I-
up. I don't know what our numbers are. Go public.
I
Buy
have
our
a feeling
stocks.
that our civilization will colonize Mars earlier than figure out how to make printers work, because they never work. It's
don't
been
know.
what?
I don't even know what happened. I hope it's not for my other stuff. But yeah, that's big news from Roblox. In gaming news, another big thing in gaming news, depends on who you are. IO Interactive is making a James Bond game. Ooh. Will it be a hit? Let's see. IO Interactive has announced it's working on an untitled James Bond game titled Project 007. A lot to live up to after GoldenEye. The teaser video game gives no information about the game, but it's a version of a classic gun chamber opening sequence, just like all the Bond films. And you can tell that at least one character has gloves and they have guns.
That opening scene is not from a pistol, like...
I didn't even see it. What did it show?
That was a like rifle chamber.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go. This is... Yeah, okay.
No more info on the game?
Well...
I wonder if they figured it, because they...
It's not going to be linked to a movie. It's nothing like that, it says.
Well,
but it's the reason that it says 007 makes me hopeful that they're trying to like at least get to like GoldenEye standards.
So I have a great theory. Think about it. They postponed the new 007 movie for a year. It was like a month ago it was supposed to be out. So now they're like, hey, we're going to have a new campaign for the movie in a year. Let's make some game pretty quickly, just like in less than a year. Let's put a deadline, make some game, and then launch it at the same time and somehow get extra stuff from the launch. Promote the game at the same time.
If I remember right, I think 007 was made on a rush. GoldenEye. Like the N64 game. I think it was like a super rush. They did it in a few months and ended up being one of the biggest games on the N64.
Maybe
the
it's
best game on it, pretty much.
Yeah, like it's...
Maybe it's
renowned
the
as
same.
being one of the best games.
Maybe it's the same strategy. They're like, hey, we have a year.
Well, I don't know if
still.
that's a good strategy. It doesn't usually work out.
Well,
But
let's see
it
how
worked out
Bungie
pretty
did
nice
with
for them.
Halo 1, Halo 2.
But it was
I
it's
haven't played that.
from the makers of Hitman, right? So
IO Interactive.
yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. It doesn't say when it is coming out on this, but I'm looking forward to it.
did your printer print correctly this one?
No,
or?
I mean the news doesn't say.
Okay.
So I got this news from
PC Gamer.
PCGamer.com, and not much more information. It seems kind of cryptic. You don't know what's the game about, but it's 007, so it's probably going to be big news when it comes out. So let's move on to the next topic, and that is arcade news. This week in arcade news, I found a Game Boy game which is shipping in January called Dragonborn. Independent retro development studio Spacebot Interactive will be shipping Dragonborn on the Nintendo Game Boy in January 2021. Pre-orders are live for the second run and will end on the 30th of November. It's a brand new 8-bit adventure RPG featuring a turn-based battling system and various travel through mini quests and puzzles that you must complete and progress through the game. We covered a Game Boy game a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
And people are still making Game Boy games.
Wait,
and
this is also
releasing.
Game Boy, right?
This is also
Yeah.
Game Boy.
I'm amazed.
Maybe I'm just ignorant to the community. Is there a huge community around
There seems to
new
be.
Game Boy games? There
Yeah,
must be.
There seems to be.
It's not just a passion product. Maybe it's actually like a community and they're all supporting this. So maybe I should actually look more into this.
It's that music, the 8-bit music.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Yeah. It's going to be $54 or 46 euros. And it's fully compatible with Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advanced handhelds.
Are you serious? It's
6 to 7 hours of gameplay.
$50.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But I mean, it is a cartridge. They probably have to do some
And
burning of this
you
onto
also-
some... I don't know if they make their own cartridges or...
You also
Can
get
you
a
buy
thing of
cartridge?
the
I don't know.
market, right? If the market is not like super huge, you just put a certain price to it.
Well, that's another thing. Yeah, they're definitely not going to have volume. They'll probably sell 100 of these.
It's like a novelty product, I guess. But
yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe it gets discontinued and this thing shoots up in price if it's an awesome game. And
I wonder
knows?
how much time does it take to develop a Game Boy game?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they developed it on. Are they using like a Unity or a...
I doubt it's Unity.
But you can make games like this.
With Unity, you can
Yeah.
make
Yeah,
Game
yeah.
Boy games?
Yeah, you can make games that look exactly
I'm
like
pretty
this.
sure, yeah.
So wait, but you can actually export Unity games.
I have
to
no
Game
idea about
Boy.
the export.
That's my point.
No, I'm sure they have to do something.
There
to
are
it, but-
like layers of
So many
compatibility.
questions. So many
I'm
questions.
sure there's a intense world around this, and they have all the answers. Unfortunately, that is not me. I don't have the answers to this. I just have the news. Looks like a cool game. Cool screenshots. Brings back some feelings of being younger with a Game Boy. playing by the street lamps because you don't have color or
The
backlighting.
backlight, yeah.
Anyways,
those were the
if you're interested
times.
in that stuff, go check it out. I got this off of getlushgaming.co.uk. In other arcade news, Raspberry Pi has been found in Tons of Tickets arcade cabinet. It's titled "A Wild Pi Has Been Spotted." It's not every day that you spot a Raspberry Pi in the wild. And this is off of Tom's Hardware covered this. Hedgehog is a guy who found this, works as an arcade technician and frequently encounters a variety of retro hardware and cabinets in need of maintenance and repair. While he was recently working on a Tons of Tickets cabinet, he discovered a Raspberry Pi controlling the internal display. The Tons of Tickets game was created by Innovative Concepts Entertainment, who we know as ICE, one of the biggest arcade
Makers out there, yes.
Yeah. And they're apparently using Raspberry Pis inside of these.
In my opinion, it makes total sense because making your own custom board is pretty expensive, and these are really well supported. The hardware is super. It's somewhat quite robust, and there's a huge community to, like, if there's an issue, you can always find a solution to it. So it makes sense.
Apparently, it's not running the whole machine though.
Yeah, but it runs a certain part, right?
It's running the display. Apparently, somebody went in and looked at the schematics that ICE gives for this machine.
Okay.
And they obviously that green board is the Raspberry Pi. And it's hooked up to the display and also some RFID receiver. And I don't know, it doesn't say in the Tom's Hardware article, is it connected for the RFID of the tickets when you win them? Like, do the tickets themselves have a tag?
Probably.
That you know what, or is it for the people who pay
the
with
payment
the cards?
system, you
And
mean.
that's RFID.
I'd assume for the
Maybe that's separate system.
I'd assume for the payment they use something more industrial or secure,
Probably then.
but then for reading tickets, maybe.
I mean, it would
RFID
make
makes
sense.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. That's the two things that popped in my head. But yeah,
pretty
so then they
cool.
have a bunch of other boards on there, and I guess that the main board is the big red one, and the monitor. They even call it a Monitor Pi. That Tons of Tickets says Monitor RPI, but then the Raspberry Pi just says PC.
Do they mention which Raspberry Pi are they using there?
It does not say which Raspberry Pi.
Confidential information.
Yeah. But it's pretty funny if you come up to a machine, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's
It's booting.
You know, usually it's the Windows screen when
Yeah.
it's stuck, like
a
blue screen of death.
Yeah.
But surprise, it's a
You
Raspberry.
got the Raspberry screen.
Literally today when we went to shopping center with Stan.
Yeah, there was a huge Windows blue screen because
Okay. I saw a
crashed.
Linux one that crashed on at the Metro.
Okay.
All the screens. So yeah, I don't know if this was him just fixing it and then it rebooted and then he saw it and then he took the picture. This is blowing up on Reddit. So they're having a huge conversation on Reddit about this.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. But it's funny because ICE is one of the biggest arcade manufacturers and they just popped it in a Raspberry Pi and it worked for their
I
application.
mean, if it's a feature you want to test, it makes total sense because it's the cheapest way probably and the
Yeah.
most reliable.
But they're
without-
using them in production.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
What's the Reddit channel it's on if people want to go find it?
Is it Raspberry Pi? Is it hardware? Is it robotics? Is
It does not say
arcades? Claw
'cause
machines?
It had a link to the Reddit, but I can't click the link on my page.
Oh, okay.
But you can check this out on tomshardware.com. It's called Raspberry Pi Inside Tons of Tickets Cabinet, and you can find I was scrolling through the Reddit conversation there. A lot of people are very interested in this. It's pretty cool to see. All right, let's move on to our next topic of news this week, and that is esports news. All right, this week, JBL partners with ESL to announce the JBL Quantum Cup. So JBL, everybody knows, is like the headphone
And speakers also.
speakers company. They partnered with ESL to create the JBL Quantum Cup, a 3-day tournament featuring Fortnite, Valorant, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The JBL Cup will include both amateur and professional competitions as well as live stream giveaways. Regional Fortnite qualifiers will begin on December 5th, and JBL finals will broadcast on December 11th. The Fortnite challenge is open to 1,200 consumers. Wait, consumers. 1,200 consumers. I don't know if it's
Players?
people who... It must be players. Or is it people who bought the headphones? It does... It doesn't say, though.
What is this ESL?
was it
Esports League.
yeah, Esports League.
I
Yeah,
think it's
something
just
like that.
Esports League.
The only
Yeah,
thing I know
it's the
ESL
largest.
is English as a secondary language.
English second.
It was a course I was
No,
in
it's-
like for 6 years.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
ESL. I've heard
that's-
people say that.
I was in ESL for like
Okay.
5 years.
Okay. But yeah, it's going to be a $200,000 prize. It's open to North America, Europe, Asia. So basically, all around the world.
So it's the
And-
Ultimate Battle Royale Championship because it's all the games.
Yeah, it's the top games in esports, including 100 Thieves, Fortnite, Valorant, and PUBG.
They're missing Player One, man. It's the new game for VR Battle Royale. It's the best.
Stan's like super into that
It's
right
the
now.
best.
The best. But yeah, if you want to learn more about this, you can go to esportsinsider.com where I found this. In other esports news this week, Formula One driver Lando Norris launches his own esports team. The British Formula One driver Lando Norris has launched an esports and content creation team, Team Quadrant, which launched on the mid-November, and it says to be putting an emphasis on gaming, racing, and content creation. The driver, who currently races for McLaren, has amassed over 600,000 followers on his Twitch channel due to the delayed start of the 2021 F1 season. Quadrant is something I've always wanted to do for a long time, Norris told BBC Sport. While racing will be our major focus and be a bigger passion than any other esport that we do, Quadrant is hopefully going to be expanding into many other categories of esports and games.
Wait, so could you explain again? I'm a bit confused. Is it like
So he's making a team, and they're going to first focus on racing,
okay?
esports,
Yeah.
competitions and stuff, and then they're going to expand into maybe other games.
Okay.
Apparently Norris is the second F1 driver to enter the esports space after French driver Romain Grosjean launched. Grosjean, sorry.
I probably
Close enough. Close enough.
I don't French well.
I butchered it also, but you know.
Grosjean.
Croissant.
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 Okay.
No, that's not how it's.
Okay.
No.
Wait, what was this? What was this new guys?
Don't ask a Florida man to do French.
Don't ask Florida man to do anything other than Florida.
Alligators. Launched R8G Esports. Roman Grosjean, in case you just got sidetracked and we didn't know what we were talking about. This French driver created R8G Esports earlier, a sim racing team competing across a range of different platforms. So this is the second professional driver to make their own esports team.
How big is racing games in esports?
They're
Pretty
not.
big.
I mean, if you look
They're
at
getting bigger.
Twitch, they're not the biggest, but they're growing.
Yeah, like iRacing is getting huge.
Okay, but it's obviously not competing with like these shooter games and strategy games.
No, not
Not
with
yet.
League of Legends and stuff like that.
So
No.
it's a marketplace, untapped.
It's an untapped marketplace. If you can make a really good racing game. But yeah, all the F1 drivers are
Going into this.
going
slowly.
into this. Yeah, they're doing simulated racing when they're with the Corona. It was getting really big. F1 was kind of pushing that you could race against these Formula One drivers on the games, and there was a lot of people tuning into it. So people are interested to at least watch it.
Yeah. The weird thing is though that because like Formula One, it's so heavily in Europe and maybe Asia, so Americans probably don't know the drivers. So I'm just wondering, is there maybe like NASCAR or Indy drivers then who have done the same thing?
On iRacing, there are NASCAR drivers driving,
Okay.
and they drive on iRacing on the competitions,
Right. Okay.
which is pretty cool. If you watch some of the the championships on iRacing, they're like naming well-known people who are driving.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's cool to do on the off time, especially when you can't go to the track during Corona, I guess.
Yeah, one thing is just that the level of entry has to be lowered quite a bit. Like if we think like CS:GO, it's using age-old game engine. It runs on everything. Here, if we look at this picture, how many thousands of euros is in that picture alone? Like,
Well, I mean, you can start on something smaller and you can still race, and then you just if you're playing better, I guess you can.
Yeah, I follow a lot of simulated racing Facebook groups, and some people do it on their laptop and they just have a steering wheel.
Yeah, you don't
Or
really
even just
need
Xbox controllers
You don't really need all of these screens. You don't really need like a super powerful computer to run them to be able to play the. Because iRacing doesn't have like crazy requirements for graphics, I'd say. for what it is.
I don't think so.
But if it's a competition situation, I'm sure they have standardized like what kits they can use and so on.
No,
You can come in with whatever.
You can use whatever
I
you
guess
want.
the
Like,
goal
so
is
you can use keyboards. Another one can come with a controller, and the other one comes with a full setup.
Steering wheels are always going to be the better.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to do it, you can get a steering wheel. Then of course there's a different range of steering wheels, to like Fanatec, which is like $1,000, down to like a Logitech could be like $100 or something.
Yeah, I guess the
People
question.
use it across the entire thing. You don't have to go to the most expensive.
Yeah, I guess the question is how much does it really help you? It's like, in esports they have these 140 hertz screens that allegedly help you. But if you're pretty good, you know what you're doing. You don't really need all of this high-tech stuff to do decently enough to progress.
And I think a lot of the guys who do get these kits, they play games that have, that are super realistic. Graphics are great. If you think about, is it Forza? The racing
Forza,
game? Yeah. Like, that's like racing a real game.
But
like
even
in
with
real life
Forza,
playing,
you
the
looks kinda
graphic
like it.
wise.
Even with Forza, you don't need this fancy computer. You can just buy an Xbox or something.
No, but like,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the experience. Like, it's like sitting in the real car and driving and on those roads.
yeah,
and
if
so
you
on.
want to immerse yourself,
Yeah.
then yes.
Yeah.
But you don't need to immerse yourself like crazy.
No,
to,
if you're just
to
there to-
just win.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to get really immersed, you get like a Oculus Quest, couple $100, and you're in the cockpit looking
That's
around.
true.
If you want to be
That's
super
probably
into it.
better than having free screens, because then you're super
Oh, I can tell
immersed.
you it
Depends.
is.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like wearing VR headsets too long, so I'd actually like the three. Like we have the 3 monitors set up. I like that more
Yeah, it depends on the person.
because you see your own hands, you see your own wheel. It's kind of
You can have virtual hands, the
yeah. I
cameras.
don't like the idea of seeing virtual hands, and they're not going to mesh up perfectly unless you do a lot of
glitching hands, shaking.
Where am I? And I start throwing up.
It's like
Yeah,
I was
so-
playing this player one the first time, and I'm
Yeah.
like trying to shoot, so I'm holding with 2 hands, and all of a sudden the gun just starts pointing at me out of nowhere. It's like poop, and it's like glitching and pointing at me.
Oh yeah, when you hold the gun and the gun's like pointing that way.
Yeah, it just
It's like,
glitches.
how is
it
this
reverses. It reverses 180 degrees, and now you're shooting yourself.
Yeah, it's
Still in the early days. Still in the
would
early
work, but
days.
it's cool. So if you really want to immerse yourself, you can do VR, or you can go badass and make a setup like this. But you don't need it. A lot of the racing community is just using a simple Logitech wheel on a normal computer,
Not
a normal
sponsored by
monitor.
Logitech.
Yeah,
But
we use a lot of Logitech stuff.
Would it
actually.
be when this scales up and becomes a bigger thing eventually? Do you think there's going to be a need for standardized then setups?
No.
Nah, it's like with esports overall. Doesn't matter as long as because in the end, everything is pretty fair. So it's really up to you how you do it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't really because I know why in esports tournaments everybody has to use the same keyboards and monitors
No.
and mouse.
No.
Sometimes they put everything, so you can't put some chip inside your mouse which loads an aimbot to your computer. But how are you going to do an aimbot on racing, for example?
There's like
You're going to need some
steering
image
assist.
recognition that figures out the track
Actually, I think
perfectly.
we
I'm
do-
sure there's
with-
ways.
with-
There's ways.
Yeah,
I'm just
sure.
saying that's even more advanced than putting a thing in the
But
mouse.
I'd say at least in like League or other esports, they usually you can bring your own keyboard and mouse, and even sometimes the monitor, because if you're used to a certain screen size and certain color reproduction and the haptics of your keyboard and mouse, and then all of a sudden it's changing, it kind of affects your gameplay, because instead of focusing on the game, you're focusing on, this mouse is different.
Yeah, but I was watching a CS:GO documentary.
Yeah.
And they were going really in depth on this, and I think the mouse was the only thing they were allowed to bring. The keyboard had to be that, and the monitor had to be that, because they were all sponsored by a certain company in the tournament, and the mouse, and then they were debating on, did that guy, because he's so good, have a hacked mouse that was loading aimbots?
Don't
And then-
quote me, but I think like at least Landtrack, which I've been organizing for some years, we have the monitors, like from house. Like headphones, we use like muffled ear protection to cancel out any outside noise. But keyboard and the mouse are from the
Whatever you
teams.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, depends on the tournament.
It depends.
But yeah, interesting to see people are shifting into this racing esports, which I like racing. I like racing. Just keep turning left. All right, let's go to
NASCAR.
let's go to the next topic of news, and that is surrogate news.
All right, Shane. So what have we been up to?
Well, really quickly, just to say again, Fabian created this. You can drive around his bot Azure So if you want to go check it out whenever he puts it online. You can find out on Discord. And if you want to create your own games or create your own experiences or robot stuff, just click Become a Creator at the top of the site. In things that we've done, can we talk about what we did a couple weeks back?
What did we do? No, I don't know.
No?
I haven't.
Wait, what
That
was that?
It was a good hint. He understood.
That we can't, I think.
Wait, what was that?
No,
We can't talk about it.
you know, big man, strong.
You're still out.
All right. Cannot talk about it.
Oh.
Cannot talk about it.
We can't talk about it?
No.
I'll give you a slight sneak peek. Sorry for those listening, but here's a slight... Boom! Boom! You didn't see it. He was like almost going to tell you what it was.
Surprise! Didn't happen.
I had the full video. It's like a 7-minute video that tells some really cool project we worked on, but apparently under our NDA, we cannot say about it yet. Got to check with Mehdi on the specifics. But in this last week, we also had a Robot Explorer, which we have every single week on Wednesdays at 4 finish time GMT +2 or 9 a.m. East Coast US.
It's at 3 GMT +2. 3 p.m.
Oh, well.
Just wanted to clarify that.
Well, I guess this is
It's
the old
okay.
time still. I changed this from GMT +3 to 2 now. Anyways, this last week we did food delivery. And it was actually, we went to the mall and picked me up some sushi.
This was the weirdest mission of all. We haven't had a single issue for the first time. We didn't crash a car. We didn't ruin anything.
You mean it was the most successful?
Well, that's weird for our standard, you know?
Yeah, usually we're
Aim high.
testing things to break things, and this week we didn't break anything. We went all the way to the mall and picked up sushi and then drove it back, and we were good. And then I ate my sushi, and it was good temperature, and
Perfect temperature.
things was like,
That's
yeah,
what
it
she
was
said.
perfect temperature. But anyways, here's me and Stan driving remotely over 4G through Surrogate.tv, and then we get to the mall. Right, we're waiting here. We were trying to find somebody in the restaurant, like, we got food pickup.
There's just people
Nobody.
watching on the
Stan
left.
is on, his face is on the front of this monster truck that we're driving, and we have a trailer on the back of the monster truck, and we're driving remotely. So Stan's like, hello.
He's like, hello.
Does
Hello,
anybody?
Sorry.
Anybody
Yeah,
here?
sorry.
Yeah, sorry. He's just apologizing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, drive into the kitchen. Go ask.
Yeah, I was
somebody.
about to add.
Stan's
we
like,
had,
no,
we had
no.
the classic Shane and Stan bickering happen as well. Stan's like, get in the kitchen.
Yeah. Get in the
Stan?
kitchen.
No, Stan didn't say get
No,
in the-
Shane said that.
Yes.
So here's Stan waving at the. You can see on the bottom of the screen that's Stan's face, and he's like waving at people. And anyways, so we get over to. We eventually, after a lot of yelling through a phone, this nice young lady comes out, and where is it?
I think you went too far.
you're
There we
turning
go.
around, yeah.
Yeah, so we were like about to lose hopes, at least
Right
I
here.
was.
Yeah.
Because nobody was coming out or trying to give us our order, which was pretty unfortunate. But then somebody came out finally, the lady.
Yeah, so she put it in. Stan waved goodbye. We drove all the way back through the darkness. And it was
Yeah.
like 4 o'clock at this point.
At 4 p.m. in Finland in November, it gets pretty dark. You
And
cannot
it's gonna
see
get
anything.
worse.
It's going to get worse.
It's gonna get even darker as we go closer to the and like right here, 10 minutes later, boom, we're now pitch black. Not even 10 minutes.
It's pretty scary driving in pitch black. I
Yeah,
must
and
say.
try crossing the streets.
And that's the
Yes.
first time we put up lights onto the...
Yeah, that was pretty helpful. We have a spotlight now in front, and we are able to use it to kind of at least see the near distance.
We can add more then.
More power.
And here's Stan like trying to look both ways. All right, we don't know what's coming on the left, but go straight. And then it's
No, that was one-way street, so that's why.
yeah, from the left. But here's
Yes.
on the right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I see.
And now you
okay.
can see the right, but we couldn't see the left.
No,
When you
I
went-
looked at the left.
Oh, I didn't see it on this.
All right. Well, I did look.
What do you guys think is going to...
But you know, it's pretty scary because you don't see the surroundings like when you walk like a normal person. So you look, you don't see a car, and then as you start passing, you just pray because
I-
there's
I
We
like-
have fisheye, so they'll come out of nowhere and be, boosh!
It's funny how Stan, like, you become the car. Literally,
Yeah.
you think like you're the
Sorry.
human in the car.
Sorry.
Like, I need to look to my left and my right. I need to see everything. I need to
Yeah.
greet people when I walk into a room.
And here's Alexei opened the front door to our office, and we drove in. We have the sushi on the back of the car the entire way, and
It just worked, which is pretty amazing.
and then here, we drove it all the way up to our floor, and we have the trailer, and in the back was sushi.
and then
And then I had a little bite.
ate it for the
Just how cold was
the
it?
fans. Ate it.
Yeah, it was perfect temperature.
Really?
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect.
I have a feeling we should start driving it more just to pick up our order. It's a fun team activity, and it works.
Yeah.
So
We should put it on the big screen and just drive and go get
Yeah,
our orders.
just casually.
And we could film that. We could do that live.
It doesn't
have
need
the
to be-
entire team like, all right,
Yeah.
what do we want to eat today? Pizza. Well,
Pizza
I don't know,
doesn't
we
fit.
can fit it on there. We can drag
Next.
the box.
Can you imagine like a huge trailer that, and then we just stack up the pizzas behind it?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But we could do it on the big monster truck.
Ooh.
whoa.
We could start
Pizza
small.
tower
We could go to
delivery.
McDonald's first, start small,
Yeah.
and then see how that works.
The
And
problem
should
with the
do that.
McDonald's are the doors, because we have to enter it to pick up our order.
Oh, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
but we go
We go to
drive-through.
McDrive.
Yes.
we are
Drive
car.
through.
We need a really big like pole for a flag then, because otherwise people like cars might not see us.
Also, I think
But that big monster
That
truck.
big
I
one
think-
they'll see.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
And plus, hey, now it snowed last night here in Finland. So if we're lucky,
Oh no! We
next
don't have studded
week we're gonna
tires.
be
we don't
in
have
super
studded
sleet,
tires.
snowy, wet conditions.
No, 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 no.
Oh, yeah.
We don't
well,
have
then
studded
we definitely
tires.
need the big one because
Oh, you know
Yeah.
where
This
we
might
can
get
go
stuck.
to the skate park again.
With
now
the big
that
one.
we don't have the because there's snow, nobody's gonna.
Yeah,
be
nobody's
there.
been skating there.
Ah, right. We got ramps during the winter. That'll be pretty cool.
Hey, we gotta
Hey,
do
look
that.
forward to that on Wednesdays. It just snowed. Our first snow was today.
Yeah.
So if it keeps this up, we might even have that next weekend or next Wednesday.
Chad is still saying that go ghost hunting, snow ghost hunting.
Ghost hunting. Yeah, it's one thing I definitely want to do.
It's hard to do though.
Yeah, we gotta organize it properly.
And we
man.
need to make sure that there's a decent connection.
I
in the middle
know
of
a
nowhere.
couple of ghost house here down the
A couple.
There's like couple
ghost
there's,
houses.
Couple of ghost
yeah,
towns,
there's
you know.
Where I hanged out
they're
as a kid.
they're abandoned like small villages.
now I'm
They're right
starting-
near here.
Okay.
Like
Now-
50-minute drive.
Abandoned village.
Yeah, it's like abandoned village. Some guy tried to
know-
rebuild it and they didn't rebuild it. And then there was like homeless people squatting there, and then they kicked them out. And once in a while, homeless people pop up there, but now they're looking to destroy the whole place. But there's like many buildings.
Now
We're
I-
going there.
now I'm
That's
starting
where we
to
gotta go
think-
in the middle of the night.
It's in the forest as well, like right now. It's not like deep in the forest, but it's in the small forest.
Well, we
so-
gotta check the connection there. But
That
now,
sounds cool,
Now
though.
I'm starting to think that Alexei's one of those, guys who goes to all these haunted places and.
I do.
makes,
I
like-
go. I know an abandoned factory as well, pretty close by here. It's huge. It's like a gas factory.
Okay.
We could go there as well.
Well,
Wow.
perfect. So
Well-
we have some options.
Figure it out, Alexei. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
This last week we had a live hosted tournament. We're gonna have it again every Friday.
So in 3 hours and 7 minutes.
That's when it starts. 3 hours it starts, and this is the game where you fight real robots over the internet. Right now, the leaderboard are as follows: Wilburst, Ossity, and Shaba. Last week were top 3. Wilburst has still maintained a spot, but the Hunter shot up from 4th place to 2nd, and Shaba maintained her exact score.
Hey, Jake.
So top 3 are there. And the season 2 of Sumobots is going until December,
December 10th, I believe.
and we're going to give away Sumobots and some other cool prizes for
Yes.
those winners. So if you haven't played yet,
There is still time.
don't worry. We use an LO system, so if you just get into the games and beat some of these top players, you will shoot up to the top of rankings really, really fast.
Throw me one of the prizes for today.
So like this week's prizes, right?
Yes. And hey, JBL, we got our own Battle Royale game. Just saying.
That's right.
If you want to sponsor a real live game, the Battle Royale game, there we go. And we've got a bunch of clean, requiring some washing
We will-
Pikachus.
We'll ship you
Yeah,
clean
so
ones.
today, we'll ship you the clean ones. But today's Sumobots Battle Royale tournament prizes are these awesome.
No. community was asking for the dirty ones.
Really?
I'm not
want
even
the
kidding.
dirty
Yeah, the
ones.
ones that,
Okay.
that are on the arena. I
mean,
know we don't have to, but
it is authentic. It's dirt from the
Yeah.
Sumobot arena itself.
true.
they have been
That's
asking.
from
This is not the
Robots.
first time they've asked for this.
Oh, okay.
So I've just been.
coal miners. That's how they look.
That's what they look
Coal
like.
miners.
I have seen the
Pikachu
chat.
got some new
I just-
Can you
powers.
switch the
Yeah.
camera? I'll show it to this one.
I don't think the focus is on.
It's quite small.
Yeah.
Oh, can you do the
You can just
full
push
screen?
it to this. Here.
No.
Yeah, just push it in front of the.
Ah, okay. So, hello. I've been working on the coal mine for 7 days straight.
Yeah. Pikachu and Geodude or whoever the heck is in the...
Well, I mean, if we want to
Caves.
send with the back ones, yeah, because
Jeff Man already said he wants a coal miner, and we know he's top 3 pretty
Special
much all the
collection.
time.
That's true.
Exclusive.
Jeffman shot up from 7th to 5th now, so yeah, Jeffman is feeling good.
High hopes.
But it doesn't matter. So this is the tournament, but if you want to win prizes today, that's today's tournament. So it's different prizes. So this is the Season 2's tournament, and then today's you start from scratch, and then whoever is the top winning of the day will win the prizes. If we look at the leaderboards across the platform, in Batman... What the heck is wrong with my screen?
No clue, but it
All right.
shows nicely.
I can't. Yeah, not on my screen here. Lunar Braxton, Robin, and Ossity are atop in Batman Pinball.
The Billion Club. The Billionaires
the
Club.
Bees Club. Race Real Cars, where you race real RC cars over the internet. Kevnik, Copycat, and Ash are top 3. Oktoberfest, Pinball Machine, Pruned, Ossity, and KLM are in top 3. Sumobots, Wilburst, The Hunter, and Shaba. And in Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, where you race real Mario Karts over the internet, Jeffman is top 1, FX Trader in number 2, and Dev Relevant in 3rd place.
And in regards to Mario Kart, I just want to point out that we currently have a month-long tournament running. We still have 2 weeks. So if you manage to get into the top 3 of the fastest 4 laps on the Mario Kart home circuit live game, you will also be able to win one of the prizes. And the prizes for that one are you can actually win a real Nintendo RC car for the second place. You can win the Nintendo Switch home circuit for the first place. And for the third place, you get a Mario Kart t-shirt, right?
and hoodie.
And SurrogateTV hoodie.
Yeah, so really cool prizes. The game is super awesome. You're racing real Mario Karts over the internet.
In
Here
real
and-
life.
In real life.
With augmented reality.
With augmented reality on top of that, and it's on our track here in Finland. So wherever you are in the world, you're controlling
So many
all
technologies.
of these. Actually, all of these are here in our office, and you're controlling them
So
through
many
Surrogate.
technologies.
Yeah, so really, really fun stuff. If you go to the top clips of the week, this one I got from Ryder Liangle, and it was a final battle where they're coming to the center here. You're like, okay, who is going to win this? It could be anybody's match. Boom, this red one gets his wheels off. Oh, green one gets his wheels off. Yellow one just kills itself. And they all died, but somehow Ryder Liangle,
Suicide
the one who
Squad.
gave the clip, yeah, Suicide Squad. Ryder Liangle got the win on that because he stayed on the center. But it was just like a bunch of
He
people.
got stuck, but he won.
He got stuck second. Yeah, he should have died, but then the yellow was like, wah!
Man, I like that camera angle though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
awesome.
looks
Can't get
cool.
over it.
Looks very cool.
Yeah. And-
Another top clip of the week. This one is from Jeffman.
Oh,
We-
yeah,
I know
this
this one.
happened. That's
yeah,
true.
This happened on Stan was hosting last week, and I got some idea. I brought out the big monster truck, and I just wanted to see how people want to battle this huge 1/5 scale monster truck. So I was battling people on the arena, and people seemed to like it. I was killing everybody, but I left one player.
People seem to like it. I was
Giving
killing
wins to
everybody.
Brunde. Pay
Yeah.
to win, confirmed.
Yeah, true. Prune threw me a couple euros. I got him onto the top 3. Yeah, Prune here on this picture was 3rd place, and that must have shot him up a little bit more.
So if you want to send, or if you want to be featured on these clips, highlight clips here, or on the show, or even on our social media, you can go to our Discord again, and the channel is a hashtag Surrogate Specific Media.
Yes.
Correct.
So,
So
make
you
sure
can-
to clip those, and we'll be sharing those on our social media and
Every
on the podcast.
podcast every Friday, we will share the top clips, and I go through there on Friday, and I pick through the ones that I like best.
And it doesn't have to be sumo bots.
It can be any game that you have
any game.
you've been playing on Surrogate. If you see something funny, clip it, and you might be featured on the podcast. That will wrap up this week's podcast, this week's news. This is our 8th podcast, I believe. Doing quite well. I think we're sticking to a schedule.
There. We're getting there.
Yeah, it's getting better.
We even started on time today.
We started exactly on time today, which was really nice.
And before we end, I just read TGC Fabian actually has his Azure currently online.
Oh, so Azure, the newest robot hooked up to Surrogate TV, is online now. So you can go check it out, surrogate.tv/game/probably Azure. Or just go to the homepage, go down to Explore category, and you'll find it there.
Yep.
And 5 asked Shane, are we getting Doggo as stream commentators this week? I don't know what you've been promising.
Bring my dogs here? Yeah, I was thinking about if no one wants to be on the podcast or can't be on the podcast next week, just stick my dog right here.
I'm okay with that.
He's just... What do you think about that one, dog?
Like, yes, high five.
Good news, high five. And then he like jumps off.
Starts eating the dirty Pikachu.
Every time I bring him to the office, they're like eating these. So you get some dog marks.
I still haven't seen the dogs here a single time.
I brought him here. Hey, what? Really?
Yeah, I haven't- not a single
I
time.
brought him a couple times.
Never been in the office when you've brought
2
them.
golden retrievers I have, so they're super funny, happy dogs.
I don't know if we did mention that I the voice Alexei here. I am going to be on the live stream today.
That's
Today.
true.
Yeah.
Today is Alexi hosting.
Alexi is hosting the live stream.
But
so
next time it's
check
going
in
to be
on that.
Shane.
Yeah, I guess next week will be me
So
then.
maybe you'll bring the doggo.
Yeah.
I could bring him on the live stream.
I
Sitting
think
on
that's
the
what they
red
meant.
chair.
I think that's what 5 meant. I'm not sure.
the podcast? Oh, you don't
Yeah.
want to hear what my dog thinks about robots and games and esports?
No, we'd rather have him
fine.
tell what he thinks about sumo bots
Yeah,
fighting
ooh.
on Arena.
Yeah. What is that?
Could you put him like next to Arena, just watch him chase the robots, and then you're commentating on that?
I could put him on the arena.
Dog goes after Empire. Dog takes off Empire's wheel.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
But yeah, anyways, if you just found out about us, if you don't know already, you can find us on social media everywhere, at SurrogateTV, and on Instagram, I think it's surrogate.tv. You can follow us. We post content and cool stuff every day.
That's right.
And if you
And-
post stuff with us, tag us. Don't just use the hashtag. Tag us so we can see it, and then we can share that stuff too.
Definitely. And then if you want to join our community, it's discord.gg/surrogatetv. But all right, that'll wrap it up for this week, our 8th episode. We'll be back next week with our 9th on Friday, and we'll cover all of the week's game, robotics, esports, arcade maker, and surrogate news then. All right, I'm Shane Allen.
I'm Stan the Man.
You guys all have a good weekend, and see you on the Sumo Bots Arena really soon. Have a good one.
Bye-bye, everyone.
See you later.